Don't mind me, nerds. I'm just gonna go ahead and change my icon to Link to signify that I am an edgelord. To be fair, I actually did do this at one point when I was playing Breath of the Wild because it was my favorite game at the time.
I mean, to be fair, whenever it came out, there was nothing that could really compare to it.
Yeah. Also, no, I'm more of a Tanuki Mario type of person. I just had to make the joke. You know? Oh, so he wants me to...
I get it. There's a lot of stuff that I do just for the joke.
For the meme! That didn't work out!
What?
Please. Thank you.
Ah.
I can get it. You know what I realized in between episodes? That, I never told you the story of why I quit that job. Like, in full detail.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
So,
I mean, I heard that last bit, and,
Gee.
I just decided that I would have quit too. So.
Yeah. So, I was working as a debt collector for like a rent-a-center, but it wasn't a rent-a-center, and I'm not going to name the company because it's not their fault.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to give them a bad reputation.
But you named Rent-A-Center.
Yeah, but it's not Rent-A-Center, so like therefore I'm in the clear. I'm in the clear. You know?
Uh-huh.
I'm very bad at climbing. Well, I was working at as debt collection, and it was in one of the worst cities in the United States, like for the past like 10 years or whatever. So I was literally in the hood and the projects of one of the worst cities in the United States, working as a debt collector, and I was not allowed to arm myself. I had to go to these like low-income houses because like they didn't do credit checks or anything. They just made us go out and try and collect money. And then we were always like in the most sketchy areas because anyone who's like renting from that like company or that type of company that doesn't do credit checks on appliances or shit like that, they tend to live in more poor neighborhoods.
Well, yeah, of course, because they need they need something that they can't afford.
Yeah, they pay
full out so that they do payments, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But what is wrong with that? Not that specifically, but
yeah,
me being in that area is that this first day on the job, going out, like in the truck and like doing debt collection, I was dressed like Jake from State Farm, and I already mentioned this in a Spider-Man episode. I talked about how I was dressed like Jake from State Farm, going up in the hood, being like, "Hey, so you owe my company money," and I stuck out.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call fall damage.
I didn't press anything. Man!
Did you run out of
stamina? No! Oh, that's annoying. Anyways, this is why it sucks not having a glider. Catch yourself. But yeah, it was funny because like I'm a big white guy going into these like low-income housing and like assisted living and stuff like that, where everyone thinks they're a freaking gangster. Because like everyone around where I was and that we dealt with like tries to act super gangster and like they can tell off the company I work for and stuff like that. But that's not how that works. So it was funny. What the last day I worked, we went to. Can I? I want the thing. Thank you. It was funny because the last place I went to, I think it was just because it was too steep. It wouldn't let me climb directly up. That's cool.
That was close.
The last place I went was in Louisville, in like the more poor area of Louisville. And this family, I'm not gonna say the full details because I need to slowly climb and not waste.
Stop
Um,
leaping.
We were going after this dude who had a warrant out for his arrest for not paying child support, but he didn't pay us either. So we were like, we're either getting the property back or we're getting a payment. There's like no other way around this. So we went, and it turns out the dude and his wife were like hiding. What just happened? Bro! There's a ledge there. Grab the fucking ledge.
You need to go over top of the thing and drop down.
Yeah, I guess. That's so dumb. But when we got there, there was no one home, and my boss had to like have these kids. Like there was a bunch of like kids, prepubescent teens at the house. There was like 6 of them, and the oldest kid there was like 13. They answered the door, and my boss says, "Hey, I need to talk to your parents." Blah 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 blah. They're like, "Well, our parents aren't home," and my boss says, "Okay, if they're not home, then I have to call the police. They're not allowed to be unattended."
Bullshit.
I'm pretty sure the law is that like you can't have that many prepubescent teens without an adult, like at a residence, or you can't leave kids under a certain age, under 16, for longer than like 4 hours or something like that. Which I originally thought was bullshit too.
That's none of my business.
Yeah,
right?
But we know they're lying. Like, the people that we deal with always say, "Oh, my parents aren't home," and then they're just sitting in the other room or some shit, and they don't want to deal with us. Also, disregard Todd barking in the background. I don't know what the hell he's barking at. So we're like, okay, so we're gonna call the police because there's 6 unsupervised children here, and that's a no-go. And then one of the kids comes out and says, "Well, my dad's in the basement." My boss goes, "Get him, honey."
Right?
And I'm like, why is this just not like? Why are you making kids lie for you? That's so dumb.
I couldn't be on either end of this conversation.
Dude, it was so awkward because like my boss is super aggro, and she's the assistant manager for the store. She only goes out when it becomes like a legal matter. So like, you're either gonna give us her shit or we're gonna press charges on you.
Right.
And she's the only one in the office that can do it, other than like our actual boss. So like when she goes out, she's always pissed off. She doesn't want to go out and do this. Like that's not her job, but it is. And she has to deal with these types of people. So like, dad comes out, says, "Hey, I'm babysitting." Look, we made it. After the entire beginning of this episode.
Only took 10 minutes.
And he comes out, he's like, "I'm just babysitting. I'm not the guy you're looking for, blah, 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 blah." Well, my boss knows who we're looking for. She's the one who makes the accounts. She's the one who finds out all their information. She deals with them directly. And she knows the couple personally. She's family friends with them. So we're like, okay, you have to call them now. He's like, "Okay, it's gonna be a few minutes." "Okay, we'll stand right here." So we start talking, and we're waiting because he shuts the door, and he goes and calls them or whatever. And we're sitting there, and we notice that there's a giant white mug on like the little porch that we're on. and it's full of tobacco spit. Chewing tobacco. Yeah, it's disgusting. And it's spilled. So it's like everywhere. And we're just like, that's disgusting. Like, I don't know how people do it to begin with. My brother does it. But we're like, our family that does that would never do that. They always do it in like clear bottles or like water bottles. They take the tags off and whatnot.
Yeah, and then just toss it.
Yeah. And just so like you don't have to deal with the odor and stuff.
Yeah.
Or they go out of their way to go somewhere else. So that way you, like, they're respecting you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got a little distracted by this humongous ball trying to come out my face. Go, 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 go! Thank you. So we're just commenting, and we're like, that's kind of gross. Why would you do that, especially if you have kids, etc., etc.? Like, and then there's also, like, a giant, like, ashtray. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't know how to describe it. The urn kind of thing. That's, like, not an urn. It's like a pot. It's like a pot for plants that they use as, like, an ashtray. And we're like, why are you doing these substances around children? Like, we're just having a conversation to ourselves, commenting, and we're like, that's kind of weird. I wouldn't do that, but whatever. If they choose to do that, it's their lives, blah, 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 blah. And then we go on about our business, talking about the accounts, and, like, I'm trying to learn and, like, asking her questions about the company and stuff like that. And this grandma from hell comes out of nowhere. She comes up behind our truck and yells, "Can I help you?" And, like, yeah, she's like, she comes at us super aggro and is like trying to give my boss a bunch of attitude. And my boss is like, she's from the hood.
Yeah.
So, like, if you get snappy with her, she turns it on. Why, hello, floating man. And, like, my boss is just not having it. She's, like, giving her the attitude back, and she's like, I'm just here to get my shit, blah, 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 blah. We're talking, and then this grandma's starting to go off on us, and she's like, well, if you want it, come get it. And, like, she's, like, super offended and says that, we can't get a hold of the, like, account owners because they're in a place with bad reception. But they can hear us talking shit about their house. Now explain to me how that makes sense. They're in a place with bad reception, but they can hear us on their Ring cameras, quote unquote, talking shit about their house. What's the button for the flyer? Oh, no, he doesn't give it to me. He wants me to teleport back. That's right. The Temple of Time. So this grandma is going off on us, saying that they can hear us talking shit, and I literally say, that doesn't make sense. How are they in a place with no reception, and we can't get a hold of them through a phone call, but they can hear us on their Ring cameras?
Yeah.
That's bullshit, because you have to have service for Ring cameras. Well, not service, but you have to have internet.
You have to have internet, and usually anymore, your service will go through the internet.
That, or any place that has internet, tends to be in a place with service. So it's like, something's not right here. So we're like pointing that out. And she's just saying, come get your shit then. And then she opens the door and starts throwing cushions at us from the couch that we're there for. she's like, well, come get it then, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, she starts literally like harassing and throwing shit and like assaulting my boss. And it's like calling her a bitch and all this other stuff. It's like wild. And my boss is like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm going to call the police. So she's on the phone and she's getting assaulted by this old woman. And then the girlfriend of the account owner, who's like a co-signer because they live together, comes out of nowhere. Same direction that the grandma came from. Go figure. But she comes out of nowhere and she's like, stop talking about my children. And like, it just blows the hell up. And like, I'm not saying like this is a trait that like poor people have, or like, I'm not trying to like say this is a particular race or anything. These aren't black people. So like, if you're making that assumption because I'm like, I worked in the ghetto and whatnot, that's not true. They literally are white people. They're just shitty people. And we're...
Yeah, at this point anymore, I don't even make that. In just the way that I grew up, as I don't make any assumptions on anything.
I grew up in a poor neighborhood too.
Now then,
and like,
the time has come.
Being a shitty person is like a universal trait. It's not like specific to a race or anything. Like, that's not even a thing. Those aren't... Personality traits are not specific to races. That's stupid. But...
a kingdom which no longer exists.
Oh, we're missing exposition. But, I'm like... real confused as to why they're being so shitty. It's like, you didn't have to be this way. We weren't saying anything. You could have just either given us our property or paid. But they're like super offended that we were talking quote unquote shit about their house, and they're like throwing these cushions out at us. I actually have pictures, and I had to record my boss getting assaulted for the police. And they started like screaming at me because I wasn't moving. I was waiting on my boss to tell me what to do because she was on the phone with the dispatcher and whatnot, and our boss.
Ready to hear what happened.
And
100 years ago.
I'm just standing there like awkwardly. I'm the tallest person there, the biggest dude there, and they start screaming at me and they're like, "Well, come get your shit. Don't just stand there." And these kids are starting to harass me too, and I'm like, "Ooh, I'm gonna catch a case before this officer gets here. I'm gonna catch a case before this officer gets here." But we had to get a police escort into their house, and we disassembled their kids' beds because they were renting it off of us. And obviously that's kind of shitty to do. Like, you're taking someone's kids' beds from them, but like, these snobby little fuckers were making so many comments and like yelling World Star and recording us and shit, and I was like, I am so happy right now. You guys can sleep on the fucking floor for all I care. You little snobby brats.
Made by the hands of our distant ancestors.
I mean, obviously, like I said, it's shitty, but dude, when you're dealing with companies that you're renting your furniture from, like, make sure you're on that shit, because that's on you. That's not on me. You didn't make your payments.
This coincided with ancient legends
So we
oft repeated throughout our land.
Yeah, I wouldn't have even worked for that place.
Yeah, so we had to bust our ass to disassemble this bunk bed in their basement and take it out without like damaging their walls and all this stuff, and we had a police escort so they didn't do anything. And what's funny is that the dude that we were looking for came out of the woodwork out of literally nowhere and like came over to eat lunch or something while we were there in front of the police officers because they didn't know they had a warrant out for his arrest.
It was clear that
we're like, what the fuck is going on? But yeah,
selected 4 skilled individuals.
I was raised never to hit a woman or kid or like really anybody until provoked. And I would never hit a woman or a kid. But if it was a dude threatening me and like coming at my neck, like I obviously didn't go into the specifics of what they said and stuff, but oh dude, I had to quit for my safety, for the company's safety, and to not get arrested. Because I can 100% assure you that if I was in that position where it was a dude threatening my life or pressing me and like trying to be super aggro, no, we're not doing this. You will be eating the floor before the police or even get called.
I'm super passive. Like, first of all, I would have never been in that kind of a situation to begin with.
Yeah.
But if for some reason, like, I ended up in that position, you can damn well bet that I would not be the one standing my ground. My ass would be backing down slowly.
Yeah. Well,
That's
my
just the way I
coworker,
am.
my coworker that I was working with was pretty passive. He like instead of like knocking like you're supposed to, like banging on the door because you're a fucking debt collector. He like knocks super passively and he just like does his knuckles.
Yeah.
And like after like 3 tries, he just leaves.
Link.
My boss is like, never do that ever. Literally always bang on the door because you will get a response from someone. But I'm the type of person that if I'm there for a purpose and I'm there getting paid to do something, I'm fucking doing it.
Was my own daughter.
So I'm the one that's banging on the door. I'm the one that's yelling these people's names. I'm the one who's going to sit there for half an hour because I know you're home.
That night was
And if I do it long enough, you're going to answer this door.
You fought valiantly
But
when your fate took an unfortunate
I mean, I didn't mind that line of work. It was okay because typically, like, the people you deal with, like, 90% of the time are, like, super okay with you being there, and they're like, yes, come take it, or, like, here's the payment.
Yeah.
Or they try and say, oh, I can make a partial payment, is that okay? And, like, you work with them because you know they're not in the best financial situation.
Sure.
So, like, yeah, we can take a partial payment and kind of put it off towards the end of your bill, but eventually you're still going to be owing the same amount of money.
Ganon will freely regenerate himself.
But we're not going to press charges on you because you're at least attempting to make payments, stuff like that. It's just, it's pretty heartbreaking having to deal with that on a case-to-case basis. And being in people's homes, I am not okay with that. Because, like, the first place I went to when I was dressed like Jake from State Farm was a place that had 17 goddamn cats.
Somehow, Ganon has maintained control.
It just smelled like
of
cat
all
piss.
four divine beasts,
And I'm allergic to
those
cats.
guardians swarming around Hyrule Castle.
And I can't breathe when people are smoking cigarettes or cigars in my face. So it got to the point where I had to wear a mask to even go into people's houses. So I was like, no, this is not happening. You guys don't pay me enough to go into these dangerous situations with people and having to get the police involved. You don't let me arm myself. You don't let me protect myself with even like pepper spray or something. I'm just not for it.
Consult the map on your Sheikah slate for the precise
And also,
location of
I
Kakarot
apologize that I'm completely distracting
way past
everyone
the
from the
twin summits
plot,
of the dueling peaks.
but it's
From
okay.
there, follow the road as it proceeds
Because
north.
essentially he's just saying, I'm Zelda's dad. This is what happened. Ganon took
Right.
over. Blah, 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 blah. Please go save the world. And here's the paraglider that you have been bugging me for the last episode.
Now forgive me as I apparate.
As you evaporate?
No, I didn't say evaporate. I said apparate.
What is apparating?
What he just did.
Oh, interesting. Oh, can I do this? I want to know if I can do. Oh, I guess
Okay.
I can do that, but I was gonna do that thing where you like jump. Oh no, I think you have to have a two-handed weapon, jump down with it, then pause, and switch weapons. Yeah. I think that's how it goes. Something crazy like that. I don't remember.
So it's a Harry Potter term, I believe.
Apparating?
Yes.
Ooh, we gotta play that too. We keep talking about all these cool games, but when we start one, we have to finish them. Like, we can play so many games. So many games. like right now we're preparing to start Spider-Man Miles Morales because we just finished the first Spider-Man,
Yes.
and now I have to prepare Damien for Spider-Man 2 when it comes out at the end of the year, which I already have. Oh, I don't have it pre-ordered. I need to go get that pre-ordered.
I still need to buy the DLC for Pokemon.
You mean pre-order it?
No.
Sword and Shield DLC?
No.
What are you talking about?
The Scarlet and Violet DLC.
That's not out yet, is it?
No.
Then how are you gonna buy it? You have to
By
pre-order it.
purchasing it?
You pre-order it.
I didn't say I was going to pre-order it.
I am so lost.
Why would I buy it when it's not even out yet?
Oh, you're just waiting to buy it.
Yeah,
Then why would you say that you're gonna buy it?
because I'm going to buy it. I'm going to purchase it.
But you said it in a way that you were like going to pre-order. You're like, I still have to buy blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it.
I think you were adding connotation where there wasn't any.
Yeah. Okay, so one thing I know we have to do pretty
Just fill
quickly.
this box.
No. This is not. Oh, never mind. That's not. You don't. I was gonna say it's not Ghost of Tsushima, but even in Ghost of Tsushima, it's just shrines. You don't kill them.
Oh,
Okay.
hello,
Okay,
bats.
bats. They're trying to turn me into Batman.
I don't think that's how it works.
Well, if Spider-Man gets bit by a spider,
Yeah.
then logic ensues. Ooh. No.
I'm not gonna say that it's bad logic.
Then logic ensues that Batman was created by Batman. He is the reason that. Yeah, I was
What?
gonna say something super controversial.
What? All I'm saying is that Batman has kind of been a thing since before my parents were born.
Well, yeah, he's been a thing since the 30s.
So we all know at this point how Batman was created.
Do we? Do we know?
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
Do I make this?
Good question.
Oh, I don't think I make this.
Yeah, I don't know why you went across the lake
Oh, just because it
when
was
you
right
could have
there.
just turned around.
Right there. But anyways, one thing. Infinite running. One thing is that we need to get a horse. Do I remember where to get a horse? No. Actually, I know where to get one, but no.
You only have one, half a heart now.
Oh, there's a horse right there. Gimme, 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 gimme. Yeah, we'll have to do it in the next episode, but I have to evade an onslaught. Let's see, I can just. We don't need this anymore. Okay. Good thing about being able to pause in game.
Right?
We will see y'all in the next episode.
Bye.